Ed Sawalski versus Lisa Laro. Lisa Laro. And what about Maria?
She's there.
Okay. Your name, sir?
David Allen Sawalski, sir.
Okay. And there was supposed to be a written answer filed. How much is a non-payment of rent case? How much is you did file?
I wanted, I wanted a 1.5 month, $2,400 security deposit. And now she owes $3,200 in back rent because what happened, sir, was I took over the property on September 26th. I bought it.
Okay, yes, I recall.
And so for her to stay there, I would want $1,600 per month. But that started on September 26th.
All right, guys, buckle up, because this one flips the courtroom on its head. Just when the landlord thought he could march in, demand higher rent, and grab another deposit on top, the judge froze him in his tracks. That moment of silence, that was power shifting hands. You can almost see the confidence drain from the landlord's face as the reality of the law hits. What began as his plan to take control now turns into a lesson in humility. This isn't just a rent dispute. It's a battle of knowledge versus arrogance. And the man who thought he had all the leverage is about to lose it all in front of everyone watching.
What was it before?
That was between her and a previous landlord.
So at what point did you give her notice that was now her monthly rent?
Same date.
In writing?
No, sir. I knocked on the door and she answered it, and I told her that I want rent if she was willing to
On
pay.
what date did you do that?
September 26th.
And so then you were going to charge $1,600 for October?
Yes, sir. If she paid it,
let me just ask you this. Why do you think you would not have to give her 30 days notice at minimum before you change any condition of her rental circumstance?
I'm not sure about that, sir.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
So
we had no agreement.
Your Honor, he came to my door and my daughter was there. Both of my daughters were there when he offered me the agreement and said he liked my dog. He said that he did not want to bother me for a down payment and that he would honor the $1,200 a month.
did you tell her that?
24
No,
hours
sir.
to think about it, and I called him back and said, I agree.
Hold on a minute. Okay, but
No, sir.
so what are you claiming she owes?
Well, I for her to stay there, I wanted.
No.
Okay.
You filed this as a non-payment of rent case, saying
Yes.
that she hasn't paid rent.
Yes, sir.
And in that complaint,
Yep.
you basically indicated that, first of all, your complaint doesn't say anything about how much she owes at all. That's blank. Then you're saying that the rental rate is $1,600 per month. What I'm hearing is that is not true. And
I originally offered her, sir, $1,200 if she paid me that same day.
okay. Your complaint indicates there's nothing about a $1,200 offer. I don't know what this whole offer thing was, and I'm not necessarily, at least at this point, going to get into it. But there was no agreement between the parties. And assuming she's, say, a tenant at will, or that you would change a condition of her tenancy that you gave her properly 30 days notice to up her rent. Yet you filed a complaint that says that the rental rate is 1,600. Frankly, sir, that's false.
Okay.
Then you don't say you say no rent is due, right?
Which item is that, sir?
Pardon?
Which item would that be on the complaint?
Look on your complaint, paragraph 5, C and D.
Yeah,
There's nothing.
yes, sir, I overlooked that. I'm sorry.
Then, so if as you're indicating, you purchased the premises, if she were a tenant there, what happened to her previous security deposit?
I don't know that I have no idea. I have no idea if she paid one.
Now watch closely as David, the landlord, walks in with bold confidence. He throws out numbers, demands, and claims as if the courtroom is his office and everyone's there to listen. He's got it all figured out, or so he thinks. The judge sits quietly, letting him talk, while the tension builds like a ticking clock. The arrogance in his tone is almost tangible, but behind that calm stare, the judge is waiting for one fatal flaw. And when the right moment comes, every word David used against his tenant is about to turn back on him. This is the kind of moment where pride starts to crumble under pressure, and reality hits hard.
I did pay one, that's why I feel.
Well, hold on. Just hold on, ma'am. Just
What
take a breath, please. All right. How much did you pay as a security deposit?
It was 2,400.
Thank you. So if you purchased the premises, you would have had, she was still in the unit. That means you purchased it subject to, I'll put it in legal terms, her leasehold estate. You then become her landlord, which means that then you are the one that is responsible for the holding of her security deposit. So where's her security deposit?
I have no idea. The previous landlord told me she hadn't paid for 13 months.
That was
And-
I'm sorry.
And he told me he had no
I don't-
security deposit.
I don't care what the previous landlord said.
Yeah.
But if you took subject to a leasehold estate, you would be required to figure out, I've got a tenant in there, have they paid a security deposit? Because then you're the one that would retain it, or he's got to return it to her. But I don't know how you ask her for another security deposit, because here's what would end up happening. Presumably, you've taken that $2,400 security deposit. That security deposit that is she previously paid, and any security deposit the tenant paid, is never the landlord's money. It belongs to the tenant, which means that if, as you want in this complaint, for her to pay another $2,400, that means she would have theoretically a $4,800 security deposit. Even if I were to permit you to have the $1,600 rental rate, which I don't think can be imposed, you would only be able, 16 plus 8 is what, 24? The maximum amount of her security deposit could be 24, which means that you would be charging her twice the amount of a security deposit that legally you could require that she pay, which is going to subject you to damages.
Okay.
So that's where we are. Be honest with you, I think you bought this property without fully thinking through what you needed to do. You can't force this woman to do certain things and just automatically like appear at her door and claim that your rent has gone up by a third
Yes, sir.
on my say so.
Yes, sir.
Where in the heck does the $4,000 come from that you're saying that she owed? Oh, that's the 1,600 that you're claiming, which is the improper rent plus the improper security deposit.
Yes, sir.
That's where they comes up in the notice to quit.
Yes, sir. I wanted the 1.5 months security deposit plus the
You
$1,600 a
need to
month.
go to the previous owner and find out where her money is. Because you're supposed to be the one now that's taking over a leasehold estate. You're the one that's supposed to retain it. And you're supposed to give her a notice of where you're retaining it.
Is she required, sir, to provide proof that she gave a security deposit to the previous landlord?
Yeah, I have my pre.
Hold on. You are requiring her to do some things and shifting the burden to her. I will call upon her to provide proof when it's necessary to provide proof, but I don't see anything in the beginning of this that you did that's right at all. Have you asked the previous landlord if he has her security deposit?
I did not, sir.
See? And so now what you want me to do is ask her whether or not she paid it. Quite frankly, I'm going to say this to you. I'm not sure what she wants to do. But what's going to end up happening is both you and the previous landlord are end up getting sued. So my question becomes, what do you want to do with this case?
Well, indeed, if she paid a security deposit to the previous landlord, and it looks like the security deposit I asked for is no good.
Here's where the fall begins. The judge starts dissecting David's claims, piece by piece, exposing the holes that were hiding in plain sight. No written notice. That's strike one, and it lands heavy. The room goes quiet as David realizes his strong case was never built on solid ground. His confidence starts melting into frustration, but the law is unforgiving. The judge's tone stays sharp, professional, and cold, cutting through excuses like a blade. This is where justice feels surgical, precise, and unstoppable. By the time David catches on, the case he thought he owned is slipping right out of his hands.
Well, but where is her money? The security deposit. Did you hear what I said?
Yes, sir.
The security deposit belongs to the tenant and is to be held by the landlord, but it's her money.
Yeah.
So somebody needs to find it.
Okay. So I would need to contact the previous owner and see what.
I don't know what you would need to do. All I'm telling you is somebody needs to find out where her money is.
Okay. I'll contact.
Moreover, the complaint, while you certainly could amend the complaint, the one thing you cannot amend is the notice that you sent to her. That notice has numbers in it that make no sense based upon what I've just told you. However, you did file a notice that on its face looks valid, so I can't necessarily dismiss this case on subject matter jurisdiction. However, if you wish to proceed with this, you need to understand that at the very end of the complaint, and pursuant to the court rules, that you're signing that complaint under penalty of perjury. That information has to be true. I don't think that any of this is true.
Okay.
So you can make your decision as to whether or not you want to proceed with this case or not.
Well, I think it might be better to dismiss it and pursue possession.
Well, because she asserted her rights.
Well, because if she
I
put
mean, sir, get what you did.
Yeah.
You went to this woman, told her, based upon some representation that somebody else made about whether she's paid rent, not knowing the circumstances, not sure that was any of your business, but that okay, you took the place, didn't get her security deposit, ask her for another security deposit, and then try to increase her rent by a third. So here's what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm going to adjourn this out 1 week. You think about it. You try to figure out. I'd suggest you go get an attorney. Because if she turns around and files a claim, you're going to have a heck of a time. I'm just going to be honest with you. But that's going to be your call. I am not, because it's not in her interest. She's unrepresented by counsel. I'm not going to, and she's appeared. While you're moving to dismiss, I'm not granting your motion to dismiss at this time so that she can also pursue whatever remedies she may have if she chooses to do so.
This part is pure courtroom destruction. The judge moves to the deposit issue, and suddenly, everything David thought he understood about ownership crumbles. The law is clear. You can't just demand another deposit when a lease already exists. The tension is thick. David's face tells the story before he even speaks. Every excuse he tries only tightens the noose of legality around him. The judge explains it with precision, each line hitting harder than the last. What was supposed to be a financial win has turned into a legal nightmare. By the end, it's obvious, David didn't walk into court prepared. He walked into a reckoning.
So I'm going to adjourn this out to November 7th, 2025 at 1 p.m. That will also be an in-person hearing. And I am not precluding the two of you having a conversation, provided you want to approach her as your equal. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day, ma'am.
1 p.m., November 7th.
1 p.m., November 7th.
And now we reach the aftermath. The judge delivers the final blows, calling out false numbers, issuing a warning about perjury, and keeping the case open to protect the tenant. The power dynamic is completely reversed. Lisa, the tenant once accused, now stands defended by the very law David tried to twist. The judge's message is unshakable. Ignorance is not innocence, and arrogance is consequences. You can feel the weight in the room shift from dominance to accountability. It's poetic, powerful, and painfully fair. A courtroom reminder that truth always outlasts ego. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.